Well, wasn't that a sight? Okay. Just watching the last little bit here of Ash. Thanks so much for the plug, buddy. I know you'll be over here in just a minute, and we'll get that going. Um, well, that was a spectacle to see Steve get his head shaved. J-Man, what's up? Thanks for coming right over. I appreciate it. Let's let everybody know we are up. Ah, did I do something to the screen? I don't know what I did. There we go. We are up. All right, everyone's coming on over. Thank you guys so much. All right, so what's going on? Man, I'm still in it all for what we just saw there. I am and never ever think that I will shave the gorgeousness of this. It will not happen. I've shaved it once. Maybe I'll post a picture of it and you guys can see what it looks like. I bicked it. I bicked it. We were getting ready to go to Afghanistan, and I knew. I was like, yo, they told us we're going to go build a base. I'm like, there's not going to be any barber shops around for a while, and you still have to maintain. You still have to maintain your haircut and shaving every day. So shaving every day wasn't going to be an issue because I just need a bottle of water and a razor. I'm good to go. Good to go. Don't even need shaving cream. But haircut wise, I was like, this is going to be hard to do. Hard to do. So what I did was right before we left, like the night before we left, I shaved it all off, bicked it clean. I had let one person take a picture, and I capped my hat on most of the time. And dude, that was cold. Boy, I've never felt my head so cold before. But that was one time. Never again. Basic. Well, even in basic, they just
you grew your hair out.
Well, they buzz it in basic, but they still leave like stubble. I bicked it, so like I shaved it and then clean. Oh my gosh. I look more like Seth Rogen than ever. Well, I cleaned up the beard a bit because Brad's too sexy. You shave your head, Brad. I'll shave. I'll think about taking an inch off. How about that? Ha. That's a compromise. That's a solid compromise. Look, these are beautiful curls. I wake up like this. Not going anywhere. I wish I had straight hair. I love when Evie flattens it, though. Because then it lays down and it doesn't droop in my face. All right, enough of the hair, though. It's not coming off, so that's never happening. All right, anyway. I like the crew cut buzz cut over the pond. I did that haircut too long, and even then I had a medium fade. I did a medium fade. I kept my hair kind of a little longer on the top in the army. Because, yeah.
I like the medium fade.
Evie likes the short haircut, the short one. I don't. Because I was forced to do it. If they'd have just left it up to me, I probably would have kept it short anyway.
You sound like my dad. Everybody wanted me to cut my hair, so I couldn't.
No, it wasn't that everybody wanted me to cut my hairs. I was forced to.
But Grandpa was military, so they all wanted Dad to cut his hair.
Because that's exactly. Thank you, because that's how I roll. What was funny? Oh, Ash's show? Oh, that was hilarious. I was cracking up over here. The jokes were just popping and coming. It's called a flat top. Well, they have flat tops, but a medium fade is like, all right, from here down, it's like it comes up a little bit shorter, and they keep the top a little longer. But hold on, I didn't even realize I don't even have anything set up on mine. I just went live. It just jumped right into it. I got to get over here so I can monitor. Yeah, definitely. Your current haircut, it is perfectly standard. Absolutely, it is. I'm serving under Captain Crunch now, stationed at Fort Couch. So.
Like Fort Campbell.
Right? Well, everyone used to say that when you get out, you're going to go serve at Fort Couch.
Yeah, but Campbell's Fort Couch.
I came up with serving under Captain Crunch.
The real life Captain Couch, or whatever. Fort Couch.
Fort Couch, yep.
Is Campbell.
So, yes, Steve was saying that he was enjoying some of the stories that I was telling you guys from basic training. And there were plenty. There were plenty. How's the USA today? I mean, everything's functioning as normal. Nothing to report. Nothing to see here that I know of. But who knows? Shave it off. Why did I leave the forces? I got injured, and then they tried to do surgeries to repair the injury, and it didn't. They tried 3 times, which I'm proud to say that I made medical history. I'm the only person to have it done 3 times. Having the surgery performed once was pretty routine. Twice was damn near unheard of, but it happens. But 3 times, my doctor even had me sign a piece of paper. He wanted to write a paper on me and submit it to a medical journal. And I was like, well, whatever. If it helps, it helps. So let's do it. But it didn't work. And they were like, listen, you got to go. And I was like, well, you know what, though? By that point, I'd already I spent 26 months total in combat zones. So I think at that point, when they said, you got to go, I was like, it's not a problem. Nashville was, as usual, it was interesting, to say the least. Everybody seemed to have a really good time down there. My boss wants to figure out how to start live streaming from down there for the band's YouTube channel. And so I'm probably going to have to figure out some way to start, if he doesn't get me some kind of a Wi-Fi connection or a hotspot or something like that I can work with. And then I'll start shooting from down there if I can get a hold of a decent camera setup. But we're going to figure something out for him. But, yep. A lot of fun. Everyone was dancing, having a good time. Got hit on by drunk old ladies, as usual. But that's cool. That's cool. Hey, what's up there, Tyler? How you doing? Battery need change. Chat soon. All right, bye. We'll see you in a little bit, loosey-goosey. Loosey-goosey. But it was fun. Had a great time, as usual. No, actually, I do need to take it back. And I'm going to say something. Somebody I fired yesterday. I had to fire somebody yesterday. And it was, I can't believe the arrogance, actually, now that you mention it. I couldn't believe this. Check this out. No, you know what? No, because I'm not going to do it. I'm going to remain professional about that, and I'm not going to speak about it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm sorry. That's not what's going to happen. All right. So anyway, that's something can't do that. As much as I'd want to, and I'd like to go off, see, that's where you need to have restraint on sometimes when you be responsible with what you say on the internet. And I'm going to be responsible right now, and because I'm not going to talk bad about somebody. And it was handled. It was handled. It was handled, and I handled it professionally there as well. And I could have overreacted, but I did not. So, whatever. Hey, douche. Sorry. Hey, Sip, what's up? That was pure reaction. That was pure reaction. As soon as I saw him pop up, it was all I could say was, hey, douche.
I do too.
Oh, boy. No, it's a good day. I almost caught my hair. I've burnt my hair so many times. I'm not used to having long hair. And I've said it. I've heard so many times. And I'm like, crikey. Boing. When I do cut my hair, I'll tell you what, if I ever cut it short, I'm going to take the locks of it and I'll tie it together and we'll mail them out. And then if you have the right amount of money and waiting for technology to catch up, in a few years you could have your very own Jay Greenbaum. How about that? Huh? The world wouldn't be ready. Let Ash cut it? I don't know, man. I'm not letting. We'll see. Now I saw him go through Steve's hair with those clippers, and I'm telling you, this is the Black Forest of hair right here. Okay. I've seen clippers, many a clippers, so many times, You have no idea. Sip's seen it happen before, and he laughs at it. It's ridiculous. Yep. My camera quality is better than Ash's. I use I have the new Samsung Galaxy S8 phone. So the camera on it is absolutely, this is the front-facing camera, and it's got less pixels than the rear-facing camera. But I prefer to do it this way because then at least I guess I could flip it around someday, but I'd have to, it's got a nice stand on the case I have with it that props it up, so I kind of like it like this. So it's great though. Ash should have held Steve down like a sheep. Meh. Meh. Hold bloody still. No. Right, I got him. That would have been funny. Right? Isn't it nice? I got the Galaxy Forever plan, so as soon as the 9 comes out, I'm going to go ahead and upgrade. Which is really awesome. I love it. I've had Galaxies since the first Galaxy came out, and I've loved it since then. I was the first person I knew to get a Galaxy, and I still have it, and it works like a champ. It is amazing. I actually like it better because it had a slide screen and then a full keypad. Loved it for texting and everything like that. It was great. And I won't lie, in California, I had 2 phones. 2 phones. Okay, there was my work line. You know, that was in my pocket at work. And then there was my other line. And I told my sergeant, I was like, look, I'm going to give you both numbers. But, if you call this number, you're going to get Specialist Greenbaum at the time. But if you call this number, you're going to get Jeremy. Okay? So if I get a call from you on this number, I'm not talking to Sergeant. I'm not going to say his name. To Sergeant. I'm talking to David. He was like, that's what's up. My sergeant was cool as hell. I had one of the coolest sergeants in the world. Younger guy, about my age. He was in Hawaii. He made rank a little faster. Great guy. Been in a little longer than me as well. Amazing person. One of the perfect. Whatever, Sip. At least I got promoted, Sip. You were never promoted. Well, once. That's what the difference between a second lieutenant and a specialist is. Or a PFC, a private, third. One's been promoted twice. Jez is in charge of where we go. Yeah. Don't worry, I will never lead you astray. Yeah. You guys need to go watch the video if you haven't seen it yet. It's called Why the Brits Don't Play Risk. And you guys should check it out. It's absolutely hilarious. It is. It's just really promoted. Got promoted twice, the same rank. Well, at least I wasn't that one cat. You know who I'm talking about, your roommate. At least I wasn't him, guy. We had a buddy. He was like every rank 3 times. What's funny in the Army is that, you know, there's nothing you can do to help a person get more rank. There's just nothing you can do to control that. So when someone gets busted, all you can do is be like, well, that sucks, dude. Yeah. Yep. You know who I'm talking about. No, I know. I know most viewers are Brits, but that's what's so funny about it. I love British humor, so don't get me wrong. It's not making fun of the Brits. Trust me, it picks on the Americans perfectly as well. Just trust me, it's funny. It's funny. I love my UK fans. You guys have taken over. You guys have taken over this channel, and I love it. I love it. Oh boy. Okay. Oh, there we go. Yep. We're good. We're rocking. We're rolling. Gonna be here for a little bit. Evie's right next to me sleeping, but maybe I'll wake her up. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if I let her sleep. Oh boy. No, that's not what I wanted to do. It's not responding the way I want. That's okay. We're gonna get it. Ash is pooping. Oh yeah, absolutely. That kid was constantly the only person I know to get a speeding ticket in Iraq. I mean, that's talent right there. It's not that easy to get a speeding ticket in a 5-ton truck in Iraq. At war, yeah, he got a speeding ticket while at war. That's mind blowing. How do you get a speeding ticket in a war zone? I think that's what we're doing is we're telling Arby stories here. So Sip's here to help out too, so he can attest or anything. You guys are welcome to talk to him. He was waxing and pooping at the same time. Shelly, look, Sip's here. Say hi. All right, so what's some stories from basic? Sip can probably tell you some stuff they did. Let's see. Funny stuff in basic training. They did what's called in basic training. They did what's called a uniform formation. A uniform formation. Now, what would happen is you would stand in the line, right? Now, imagine this. The way the bay was set up and I'll give you guys like a rough layout, okay? This would be like the shape of a bay. There would be a frame here with a door, and there were just bunks, 3 sets of bunk beds, and then a little path, and then a painted area down the middle that was blue. Okay? You do never walk in the blue area. Ever. Ever. 3 more sets of bunks on this side. Row of wall lockers. Wall lockers. Another set facing wall lockers this way. More bunks. The blue line. We do not walk on the blue line. Bunks. So on and so forth. So we would, when I say toe to the line, what we would mean was everybody would put their tip of their toes right to that blue line, but not on the blue line. That's where the drill sergeant walks. So they would toe to the line, and the drill sergeant would walk in the uniform formation. He would say, you're going to put on your black socks. You're going to put on one shower shoe, 1 dress shoe, PT bottoms, a brown tee, and your PT belt. You have 10 seconds, go. And everybody would run, and then 10 seconds would be up. He'd blow the whistle. Of course you're not done. Get back to the line. You failed your mission. And then he'd make us all do push-ups. Then he'd get us back up. Okay, your next uniform, go. And he'd give it to us. We'd fail, of course, again. More push-ups. One point, though, he had us do push-ups with just a towel. Well, the uniform was a towel and something else, I don't remember, but no one got to it. So basically it was just a bunch of guys doing push-ups with towels on. Good times. Let's see, going to the range was fun. Throwing hand grenades. It's not what you think. It's different than what you would think it is. And a lot of people did this, and including myself the first time, because it's just out of habit. You have your 2 hand grenades, your real hand grenades, okay? You have to hold them like this, right? You have to hold them to your chest. And it's your turn to go throw the hand grenades. So you run out to the pit. You jump in the pit. Boom. Drill sergeant's right there in front of you. He says, hand me the grenade number 1. You have to repeat everything back to you. Handing you grenade number 1. Hand me grenade number 2. Handing you grenade number 2. You hand him the grenades. And then you bring your hands back to your chest. He goes, I am now going to hand you hand grenade number 1 to your right hand. Raise your right hand. My right hand. Okay. You are going to take the grenade with your right hand. I am going to take the grenade with my right hand. You're then going to remove the pin, drop the pin, and throw the grenade. Okie dokie. Chuck, and instead, the first reaction out of everybody, and I don't know why it is, you want to look at it. And then he was like, get down. Oh, yeah, I threw a grenade. Boom! And then they repeat the process. But it's really cool is they had a blast shield set up for us, like this giant wall, and it had some really thick plexiglass that we could look through. It was so cool. The day was really rainy outside. Right? We got to see it was kind of dewy outside of where we were, so every time somebody threw a hand grenade, you got to see the shockwave in the dew come up. It was really cool. Hand grenades. Smoking that grenade was so crazy. It was scary. So was Claymore. Yeah, dude, when they made you cook the grenade, did they have you cook one for like 2 seconds, drop it? 1,000, 2, 1,000. You're like, oh, I want to get rid of this thing. The second one, they had you cook a little. But they had us practice with dummy hand grenades. We had these dummy hand grenades to practice with all the time. Sega. But yeah, a lot of fun. What was some other stories from basic training? Okay, now do remember though that all this stuff I'm telling you guys about basic training, while it sounds really like harsh, it's not. It's not. It was your basic training is designed to make you fail. That's the purpose of basic training. Oh well, thank you, Shelly. It was a ton of fun. I enjoyed it. I wish they would have made us do more exercising. I wish they would have smoked the crap out of us more. Because as much as I hated doing it, you didn't have a choice, and it was nothing but good for you. So I had a great time. I'll tell you guys this. I was thinking about this. I was thinking about stories to tell you guys about it, and here's one. And it's really interesting. And if you guys know me, I'm kind of a little cryptic with everything as I tell stories, but you'll get it at the end. There used to be the Melting Soldier was something I enjoyed every day. Was the Melting Soldier. What the Melting Soldier was is there was a painting of this like toy soldier holding a gun, wearing his helmet, and he's got his gun, and he was kind of just melting, and cartoony. And throughout the day, I would never look at it, never. But only at lights out. That's not your lighter. I just got that one for Evie. This is mine. I didn't go to Relaxin' Jackson. I went to Knox. I would look at the Melting Soldier only at night when it was when the day was done and we were allowed to go to lay down finally, because then it meant the day was over. It meant the day was over, and that's when I would stare at the Melting Soldier. So that was an action. And at the end of the night, what you'd have to do is you stand in a line with your gun or your weapon, and they'll go down the line, count them off your roster. 301, and you hold your weapon up. 302, 303, so on and so forth down the line. Sip, you remember your roster number? I was 311. Bravo 146, Charlie Company 311. And then I went to Charlie 16th Ordnance, 557 Maintenance, 1st to the 320th Field Artillery. E347 211, Bravo 146. 311. That's interesting. You were 211 and I was 311. How about that? And actually, guys, I wanted to remind you something. Sip told me about this yesterday. Yesterday was what, dude? 10 years ago you went to MEPS? Is that correct, Sip? But what's really interesting is I just realized today, one, it's November 16th, so it's my sister's birthday. But I joined in 2006, November of 2006. So it's 11 years today, at this very moment, I started basic, not this very moment, but today, I started basic training. Not MEPS, because you arrived there early. I got there on the 11th, but there was a 3-day weekend, and then I had to do my in-processing. You do in-processing first, all your dental and medical, get your uniforms. But today was the first day I started basic training. So 11 years ago today, I was being smoked by a drill sergeant. And what smoked means is they just make you do exercises until you can't do exercises anymore, and then you're smoked. They'll have you do push-ups till you literally can't push anymore, till everybody can't do push-ups anymore. Then they stop, and then they make you do sit-ups till you can't do sit-ups anymore, and then they have you go do something else, only with the kraut. Sip calls me the kraut. He's the only one who calls me the kraut. He gets away with it too. That's Scooby-Doo. Hello, Ann. Good, you're here, Ann. I have been waiting to show you. I showed everybody else. And I promised you, remember I told you about that book I got. I said, you told me you loved old sci-fi stuff, right? And I said, I have an old book for you, and I want to get it. And I told you I couldn't find it, and I was looking for it, and Evie found it. She found it. And I'm going to send it to you. I sent you a Facebook message so I could get a hold of you. I guess you haven't checked it, though. But I found it, Ann. I found it. And it's a first print. 1956, first print. New York Times said some really good reviews about the author, and it's called The Forgotten Planet. And I'm going to be sending it to you. I promised you I would. So this is going to go to Anne. And I've been so excited. I've been trying to get a hold of Anne. Oh my gosh, Anne. And finally you're here. And I found it. I'm so happy. So I'm going to get your information, and this is definitely going to go out to Anne. It's so cool that I'm able to send this out to you. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Anne. That's terrible. Well, do remember then you're going to have a great new book to read while you're putting your feet up and relaxing, taking it easy and chilling a bit. You'll have this 1956. It's so cool, and it's in great condition. The back does have a little crease down the side over here, but other than that, the artwork is absolutely amazing. Look at that. Bam. Look at this. That is so cool. By I'm going hospital. Been hit by my dog. Been bit? Oh my gosh, are you serious? You got bit by your dog? Is the dog okay? Oh, wonderful, Anne. Yay, I'm so excited. It's going to be really quick to mail this one out. I'm excited to mail it out to you, and then you're going to get to read it. I haven't read it. I've never read it. And actually, Anne, you get the little backstory to how I came about that book. I was in Iraq. I got it in Iraq. They had a table that people used to send us boxes. And sometimes there's stuff in the boxes you don't want. So you take all your boxes, and there was a gazebo, and it had a table in the middle. Big gazebo. They built us wooden gazebos, smoke pit areas and stuff. And people would put the boxes up there of stuff they didn't want. And there was always books there. Always books. And I'm a big reader and, kill some time reading a book. So I would go to the table and go through the books. And I happened across 2 books. This was one of them. And I have another one I have secured somewhere because it's really, really old. And the chance of finding another one is probably not likely. I've done a little research on it, and it's a little valuable for a sci-fi novel from 1935. And I think the cost on it was 5 cents to buy the book. And that one has been put aside. But this one is for Anne. This is the first print. That wasn't a first print. I think it was like a 1933 was the first print and 35 reprint. Bye, Brad. Thanks for stopping by, buddy. But that one was a first print, and I've hung on to it all these years. And, never read it. Never really had any plans to do anything with it. And but getting to know that it's going to go to someone who appreciates old sci-fi is going to just it puts more. The story doesn't stop. It's not going to stop. It's going to keep going, and that's something that's really cool. It's kind of like this too, a lighter, and Sip remembers my lighter. You guys remember Big Walad? Walad comes over all the time, hangs out. He did the ghost hunt with us. Well, he went to Iraq first. And his sergeant gave him a Zippo. And he told him that he got that from his sergeant on his first deployment. And the thing is that you are supposed to pass it on to the next person. And whoever has this Zippo will be okay on that deployment. So Vlad's sergeant got it from somebody else, as far as I know. And Vladdy got it from him. Well, when I came home getting ready to leave, I met up with Vladdy for a minute. And he goes, hey, man, I want you to take this lighter. And it's going to take care of you on your first deployment. And I nearly lost that thing once or twice in Iraq, even so much so that I had to put tape on it. And then I double-sided the other tape, and then I covered it in sand so it would have a rough edge to stay in my pocket, something to grip with. So I wouldn't lose it in the truck. When they floored it, stuff flew out of your pockets. And I took that lighter, and I went to Iraq, and obviously I was okay. And then Afghanistan came up, and there was a new guy in my squad, and he was really good on generators, really smart. I had a lot of respect for him. We had a little bit of a head clashing going on there, but it was because of that he challenged me, that I gave him the lighter, and he took it to Afghanistan and was good. And when I left, he passed it on to another soldier, and hopefully that Zippo is continuing that tradition. And I don't know, but things like that just intrigue me more. The actual item itself is nothing. The story is great. Sorry, I didn't mean to go off on that one, but that's the kind of things I enjoy. So the story of me getting that book Did you? That's so cool. I didn't know about that. The Where's George? Um, I should have. Oh, well, that's wonderful. Perfect. Then the story will continue. And as long as you and make sure they know the story behind it, then the story continues. And it's a great book, and it's in great shape, and it's going to be able to be read for years to come. When your grandchildren are old, it'll still be, I would think, in good condition. And wow, isn't that cool? I'll write a little note and put it in the front. I won't write on the book. I would never do. There is a little writing. Somebody marked it or numbered it, but I'm gonna write a note too for you, and I'll put it inside. That book, yeah, that book's got some miles on it. It really does. That book went obviously from the States somewhere to Iraq, from Iraq back to California, California to Tennessee. It's gonna go from Tennessee to Australia. That book's got more. If that book is gonna have some real miles on it. That's amazing. That's just so cool to think. I don't know. That's just one of those things that just like boggles the mind that I love. Crazy, crazy. It's kind of like how we found out that Brad and Evie are cousins. That's just mind-boggling, isn't it? Just by the off chance. I mean, they're not close cousins or anything like that, but the fact that out of 7 billion people in the world, uh, two guys find each other on YouTube, of which one of them married the other one's cousin from a distance. That's just crazy. Drink water. Change your socks. Drink water. You'll be okay. Okay, so more army stories. After all, it is a small world after all. Have you guys ever been to Disney World or Disneyland? I've been to both. I've been to both. Been to Universal Studios. Been to several Six Flags. I took SIP once. This is a good army story. I took SIP once. I was getting ready to go to Afghanistan, and SIP unfortunately wasn't cleared to go to Afghanistan with us. So sad. And there's a great another story behind that one too. Drink water. They make you empty. Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely, J-Man. You would have to drink. They would give us a 1 quart canteen of water. It was called a hydration formation, and you would have to go outside, and everybody would have to drink their canteen, and then hold it over your head. And if any drops fall on your head, you do push-ups for every drop that hits your head. 10 push-ups for every drop that hits your head. Hydration formation. But so I'm getting ready to go to Afghanistan, and a friend of mine says, the scary sand spiders, the camel spiders. Yeah, yeah, I've got some of those on my Facebook, and you're friends with me. You should be able to go on there and see the picture of the camel spider. I saw several. One of them came at me. They're no joke, bro. They do lift. They came at me, bro. We also had a tarantula migration in Iraq. And last night, actually, in Nashville, I met another veteran. He was wearing a veteran hat and everything, and I was talking to him, and he was like, oh, yeah, I'm military. And I was like, oh, yeah, me too, blah, blah, blah. And I says to him, I saw he has an Iraq, and I was like, where did Iraq you go? And he told me, and I was like, oh, yeah, I was there too. And it just so happened that we were probably on the same base at the same time, roughly, depending on the month. Because he left in '07, and I got there in '07, but it depends on... I joined the Army in November of '06, and by October 1st of '07, I was in Iraq. So in less than 11 months, I joined the Army. 11 months later, my butt was in Iraq. Of which, of course, like, basic training was 11 weeks. My AIT was 13 weeks. My ASI was 4 weeks, and I got in a little trouble, and that held me over for 5 weeks. And then I got to the unit, and like 2 months later, bam, we were in Iraq. Oh, yeah, I remember that. That was hilarious. There was good times there. Let me turn on the light, guys. It's getting a little dark in here. Okay. Much better. Much better, huh? Like a little more luminous, right? Perfect. Perfect. Okay, uh, so anyway, we're going to Six Flags, and I took SIP to Six Flags because I was saying to him, hey man, a couple of people invited us. They're like, we're going to go to Six Flags. You want to come, G-Bomb? I'm like, what was your reaction the first day in the desert? Well, here's what's surprising, Ann. And when I expected to, we landed in the desert. The first experience in the desert would be Kuwait, and we landed in Kuwait, and that was desert. That was really, Sip, really. So when we landed in the desert, we landed in Kuwait at first, and that was like what you imagine the desert would be. Flat desert sands, the sun setting in the background over a desert, the camels in the background. We saw that legit. And I remember there was a time Sip and I, we went out to go do some training before we left Kuwait. We stayed in Kuwait like 10 days to do training and figure out where we were going and arrange our flight and everything. And we're out in the desert, and they told us that there wasn't enough room in the building they had for all of us to sleep, and that some of us would have to sleep outside. So Sip and I said, well, we're fine. We'll sleep outside together. That's no problem. You know, we got our sleeping bags, and we dug a little trench around us, and they told us, be careful because there's going to be scorpions and tarantulas out. And I was like, okay. So we dug a little trench, and I had some bottles of DEET. And DEET was this super bug repellent, and I smeared it all over the outside of my bag. It got sandy, but I'd rather have a sandy bag than a tarantula with me. And then I put some all around the outside, and when we woke up the next morning, you could see footprints and claw marks in the sand where they would come up. Sip, stop it. Yes, he is. Daniel Chronic is Sip. Stop telling him what I did. Stop. You could see where all the tarantulas and the scorpions had walked around us in the middle of the night. That little thing was glowing like a light as it ran away. You know, it got picked off probably so quick. Crawled to the top of a wall. Woo! Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. We were in Iraq. And I went to one of the porta-johns, and I took 3 chem lights, and different colors, red, blue, and green, and I cracked them open, and I slung it all over the porta-john. And then I went outside and I waited, and I watched when someone would open up the porta-john, and the thing is glowing like a UFO. Oh, that's good stuff. Glow-in-the-dark gecko. Yeah, it didn't hurt the gecko, but it definitely didn't help its chances of survival. But there were millions of them, so it's no big deal. Man, Peter's going to see this and be mad. Oh well. We used to have near beer parties there, where everyone would come outside and you bring some food of whatever you got. We get a case of near beers and play spades. Good times. I actually got accustomed to the taste of near beers.
Yeah, shut up.
What else? What's some other funny stories? Peanut, stop, dude. Come on, man. Come on, buddy. There's a good boy. There's a good boy. Right? Come here. Come on up. Come on up. Come on. There's a good boy. Lay down. You want to lay down with me? Okay. That was pretty funny, though, but that wasn't to catch mice, but you caught what you wanted, though, didn't you? You want me to tell them about that, Sip? I won't say names. I never say names. But I can tell stories. It's fine. There's a good boy. Sip put a bunch of mouse glue outside of his window on the sandbags because this one girl kept climbing into the windows to break in to see his roommate, and Sip got tired of it. You know, I mean, it's his room too, so he put a bunch of mousetrap glue outside on the sandbags, and I think he said something like when he came back there was a glove stuck in it, and that we saw the girl later and she wouldn't have gloves on for like a month. And I can only imagine the sand and the stuff that was stuck to her hands. That's funny stuff. That's funny. Isn't that right? What else? What's some other funny stuff that happened? Oh, well, I keep not finishing the Six Flags story. So when I took Sip to Six Flags, I have to say this is great. Nothing worse than listening to people bunking. Oh, I can imagine. I can't imagine. And it was small rooms, guys. You got to understand. Lima Charlie. Was that what we said that Chief got? Roger, Lima Charlie. Yeah, Lima Charlie. Next person who says Lima Charlie is in trouble. Lima Charlie. You understand? Lima Charlie. Oh, wow, really, Sip? Secure our country. God, those people were kind of annoying. But, overall, they weren't bad. It was just different people from different cultures. You guys, can you hear that? Spanking my wiener. No, it's just Peanut. Okay, I'll tell you though, this is worse. I'll tell you this is, and Sip can remember this one. When we were riding back, when we would finish our shift at work in Iraq, they would load us in the back of a 5-ton. Now, if you happen to be the poor person who got the last person in the truck and you had to sit in the very, very back, when we were driving back, there was always this big bump. Now, do remember, you're sitting there and you're wearing all this gear and it's extra heavy. And if the person driving didn't slow down for that bump and they hit it fast, you got really high up there. And if you weren't careful and ready for it, you would wind up going airborne and sitting on your balls. And there's nothing more painful than that. It was always funny to watch when somebody you watch to see if they don't pay attention for it, it always happened. It was hilarious. Hold on, because Peanut's here. I gotta lean this way. Oh, there we go. Yeah. I don't go with names, so that guy was retarded anyway. I don't know how he got the rank of that, but it was more funny when he lost it. Now here's a story, and we're not going to say names. I found out one of my old sergeants is a cross-dresser. I had no idea. I mean, nothing wrong with it, but it was just really shocking to find out that he was a really tough kind of person in the Army. Really, and then now that he's out, and I talk to him on a basis, and I find out he's a cross-dresser, and I've seen pictures, and it's just, wow, it's shocking. It's shocking. It was shocking at first, but it explains a lot more now. But don't know that he was kind of he was really tough when I first met him, but when I was in Afghanistan and he showed up late to join us, he showed up like the last 6 months, he was really nice. You know, I got along with him fine. It was because I think I was one of the few people that he remembered from the unit from the first deployment, because he'd been on detail for so long that he didn't know anybody anymore, but he knew me. So, you know, you kind of do that. You befriend somebody you know until you meet everybody else. So him and I got along just fine. I got nothing against the guy whatsoever. But yeah, it was just very shocking to find out. It wasn't that bad. It was a lot of fun. Good times. Unit. He said unit. There's better ways to entertain us. He just said anus. Oh, wow. Yeah, I can imagine. That's that's a lot, Ann. 1,000 kilograms an hour of dirt. You were moving some earth, huh? Oh boy, I'm just having like, here we go. I got to work the conversation up. It's getting a little tricky here. We got to think of more stories. I mean, there's tons, but it's trying to recall each and every a specific moment of something funny happening. There was just so many of them, so many. And we got so many people hanging out, but only a few actually chat. And you guys got to make this happen. The funny vid of me dancing. Which one? Wait, which one, Ann? Yeah, you gotta be more specific. How did I meet Sip? Oh, that's a good question, Shelly. Uh, Never understood the metric system. Sure you do, Sip. You used to buy an eighth. You understand metrics. Um, how did I meet Sip? Well, we went to AIT together, but we didn't know each other because we were in separate companies. So I probably saw him, but never paid any attention to him. Or he was walking by, and I was like, "Look at that old guy! Stop!" So we got to Fort Irwin, and I got to Fort Irwin, and he was in the company. And the first time I met him, I needed a ride from the barracks to the motor pool. And what you would do is, if you didn't have a car, people would wait outside early. And when people are heading out, hey man, you got a car? Can I get a ride? And usually that's how you did. And I saw him walking out, and I knew he was in my company. And I was like, hey man, can I bum a ride with you to the motor pool specialist? And I remember I said that, excuse me, specialist, could I get a ride to the motor pool? And he's like, yeah, come on, but don't call me specialist, dude. I was like, okay. So a couple of the guys and myself got a ride to the motor pool, and I was like, well, he's going to lunch. Hey man, you heading to lunch? Yeah. Well, can I tag along? Sure, come on, hop in. Well, it was a ride to lunch, and I know I got a ride back, and cool. And then at the end of the day, hey, what are you doing after work today? I don't know, but hop in, we'll ride back to the motor pool. I gotta go get some smokes. Oh, me too, cool, yeah. And the next day, I think I started talking to him, and it was getting ready to be a 4-day weekend, and I had just got my bonus money in, and I got a nice chunk of change. Paid off a bunch of bills and everything, still had a bunch of money left over, and I said to Sip, I'm like, hey man, let's go out this 4-day and have some fun. He was like, yeah, cool. I had to do some training that weekend, so I had to do some early morning training, but on Saturday I'm out there doing the training, and at a left field, um, the general comes walking onto our training post. He goes, who is this unit training? And the sergeant in charge of the training comes up, running up, sir, it's 557, sir. Aren't they deploying to Iraq in a month? Yes, sir. These soldiers better be off this field in 5 minutes, and they are not cleaning up anything. Go. Get the hell off the field. Training's released. And I was like, okay. So I grabbed up my stuff, and I'm running. I'm get out of there. And I call Sip up, dude, I'm free to go. So he's like, okay, dude. I'm gonna go get some gas, and you go get your stuff ready, and I'll come pick you up, dude. So I was like, all right, cool. So I had to also call Corp, and he told me I couldn't go anywhere until my room inspection was complete and clean. So I scrubbed the crap out of my room, made sure it was clean, but my roommate was wicked dirty, so I only scrubbed up to halfway in the room, and his floor was wicked dirty, dude, wicked. But I scrubbed right up to the middle, and I called Corp. I said, you got to come over now, or I'm leaving anyway, but you said you want a room inspection. I'm only cleaning my half of the room and the bathroom. So I cleaned the whole bathroom and my side of the room. Corp walked in, said, that's good to go. Jumped in the car with Sip, and we headed to Big Bear because he told me I didn't want to go to Las Vegas with the other guys. I wanted to go ride the jet skis with him. And I said, that sounds good. And I went and rode jet skis, and that's how I met Sip. And then we hung out since. So I hope that answers your question in detail, Shelly. Hello, Troy. Good to see you. David, everybody. Oh, Sip's crazy, but he's just like me. And the bromance, it was brotastical. It was brotastical. Sip could tell me honestly right now that I need to come up to Boston because we're going to whack a dude. And, okay, then whatever. If he says it needs to be done, it probably does. And, on my way. There's been a time or two where I've offered to say, I would never, Steve, you're a good guy. There's been a time where there was an instance where I was like, dude, do I need to drive up there, handle business, and get out of Dodge before anyone would bother to check from an out-of-state killer? Is it cold? You got a breeze on that. The hair looks good now, Stevie. He did a good job. He cleaned up well. I'm just kidding, Shelly. Or am I? No, but I'm just joking. Seriously, though. Doesn't it, though? The Italian Mafia had a very nice system set up, I will say this. And you could attest to it. There used to be no crime in Vegas. Because if you robbed from somebody, you were stealing from the mob. And that was worse. It's a nice floral blend. Lavender root. Fresh rose petals. A hint of oregano. For flavor. Yeah, see. How's the teeth feel, Daniel? You doing okay? Yep. I do not, Agaston. We do, I know. Let's go ahead and plug him real quick, go. So if anyone's watching this video at a later time, because obviously everybody here right now is already subscribers to good old Just Some Dude. You guys go to his channel, Just Some Dude, Steve. Subscribe to his channel. Check it out. Good guy. Good guy. Not for nothing, dude. If you haven't already on my channel, though, make sure you hit that thumbs up and look for the JG to verify that it is the right thumbs up you've got. So there you go. Thumbs up me. I appreciate it. We've already got 14 people watching, 15 thumbs up, so we're doing fantastical. Oh, absolutely, Just Some Dude. Just Some Dude, spelled just like it sounds. If you can't spell it correctly, get a hold of Just Some Dude, and he'll come around and bonk you on the head with a hammer because you're not very bright. The airline stewardess was coming around and checking everything, and of course I like to mess with everybody, and she was right next to me, and I was like, should this flight become a cruise, your seat is a flotation device. She's like, it is. I was like, I know. And if you're caught smoking in our lavatories, you will be escorted to a private viewing on the wing of Gone with the Wind. Remember, it's always best to sit in the rear of an airplane because they don't back into mountains. Oh, absolutely, and I wear that with the badge. I'm proud to be an infidel. Infidel. Ever since Aladdin came out, infidel, you have taken the sacred rock of the lion in the desert thingy. Ah, infidel. So yeah, I was like, oh, I want to be an infidel. Greetings, infidel. Right? Silence! I kill you! You know, I can do a little bit of ventriloquism. It's a little difficult. I have to practice it. It's getting it down. Definitely trying. It's not too hard. There's still a little bit the lips going. Other than that, it's going well. I do have to work on the facial expressions a little bit better though. But other than that, it's not too bad. Not too bad, huh? Oh, your roommate in Iraq was terrible. Terrible. Oh, see, the B's are hard. You got to do B's as D's. And that's something I got to work on remembering. When you want to say a B in ventriloquism, you use a D. Because it's easy to D, D, D. But B makes a B, B, B. So you have the doy dot the dot the doy. Today is a great desk call. Gonna kill him, Chief, I swear. uh I can't remember either, Ann. Oh yeah, I used to tell Chief all the time that I was gonna kill my roommate. I was like, I'm gonna murder him in his sleep. I think it got to the point though where they may have started taking me seriously. But it was getting bad. I wasn't getting any sleep at all. It was bad. Bad, bad, bad. Worst snore I've ever heard in my life. Only person I know to have snored on the inhale as well as the exhale. I mean, he drowned the jets taking off. He drowned them out. It was bad. It was very, very bad. Oh, you have no idea. But it was funny though. As I fell asleep, I don't know if I can. I guess I can talk about that. There was a camera I ran, and I fell asleep with the joystick to the left. The whole thing was just circling around. He kept the flies off of everyone. That's when the base command called. What are you looking at? Oh, shoot! I got it. I was checking 360, keeping my 360s. Your mom says you have the face for it. Voice acting? I would love to do voice acting. It would be one of my favorite things in the world to do, but I do stand-up comedy, yeah. I did stand-up comedy for a while, but it doesn't work the way I would want to. It just doesn't work it's harder for me to do it that way. My comedy doesn't work on that kind of a basis. My comedy is very one-on-one. As we can discuss things, I can come up with stuff and add things to it fresh on the spot and make comments and whips, but it doesn't translate as well to stand up as the way I'd like to. So I have issues with that. So it doesn't work. But I've done stand-up comedy. I did it for a few months. Had a good time and mildly successful. Just like I like my hot sauce. Mild. But yeah, I did it. Moved on. Next thing. I can do that. How about improv? It's a people thing is the problem. It's a people thing. It's a people thing. You guys got to give me 1 second. Peanut's got to go out, I think. So you guys just hang tight. Someone keep the conversation going. I'm going to give you a topic. Why SIP is stupid. Discuss. All right, let's go. back. We're back. Yep, all good to go. Good to go. Whew, sorry about that. What did I miss? Let's see. How about improv? I have an electric fly swatter. Sip is smarter than you give him credit from what I've seen. Sip's an idiot. What's up, people? Hey, Daniel. Gary, I believe it. Smart as a little hog. Ha! Where's the man gone? He's the crowd and he's approved this video. He made it. Ha! He just gets mighty stunned. I do nothing of the sort. I just get normal. That's all. Speaking of which, another successful adventure. Huh? You spelled genius wrong there, guy. No, actually, too. That's actually the thing, though, Anne. They say that people who have higher intelligence have problems spelling. It's something I do, too, have a problem with because I just spell the way that I want to, and it makes sense to me, and then I can read my own writing. But a lot of the times, though, they say that a lot of more intelligent people don't have trouble spelling. I can read beautifully, articulately, quickly. Love to read. I can read pages of information quick. Very, very fast. But I used to do that in the Army, too. They would have us read off the board. And if there was a long paragraph that someone had to read, I wanted to speed these classes along. So what I would do is I would raise my hand and read the big ones. And whoo, everyone would get happy. Oh, great, good. We're through it. Bye. Appreciate you stopping by, Stein. They're going at it. Okay. So what are you up to, Sip? What's on the agenda? You going to the shop later today? Huh? Did you already go winterize your boat? No, I gotta call her later. It's her birthday today. I have her birthday gift, but gotta get a hold of her. That was the dogs. Peanut was chasing Butter. They were getting into a mix, if you will. Hi, Piper. Hi. Come here. Come on. All right, Piper. There's a kitty. Hey, Sip, you wanted to say hi to Piper? Hey, Piper. Psst, 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 psst. Come here. There she is. Peanut ate your fish. Yeah, you did. Hi, Pipes. Sip had a box of fish one time, fried fish. Where was it from? It was from the fish shop or whatever. And he set it down somewhere. When he came back in, Peanut's looking up at him. He's just got fish hanging out of his mouth. He's like, "This is good fish, man. You should have got yourself some." Oh, that's funny. Now, there was this one time Sip had gotten a hold of a of a Valium needle for the military. And the purpose of the Valium needle is that if a soldier has been shot, pull the needle out, put it to their leg, and hit them into it, and it gives them a huge shot of Valium. Nice shot of nice big shot of liquid Valium right into your bloodstream. And Sip was like, dude, look what I got. I found this at the store or whatever, and I bought it. I go, yeah? He's like, yeah, check it out. I was like, okay, cool, cool, cool. Now he's over here holding it, and then he's looking over at it, and he's got his thumb on the top. And he's got it like this, and he's got his thumb over it, and he's holding it and showing it off. And I'm like, I'm looking at it, and where he's got his thumb, it's got a rounded edge, a rounded top. And then there's a flat piece on the side where he's like looking at it, like inspecting it with a needle. You could tell that that's what he was doing. And this is back to where I was on Ash's channel, and I was talking about when you see bad things happening, but you don't want to stop that because you want to see this train wreck. So I said nothing. But I continued to monitor and observe and watch, and he's over here playing with it, and he started doing this with it, like, I'm going to stab you with it, I'm going to stab you with it. He went one more time, and the thing went off. All you could see was Sip go, "Wah!" And then this needle shooting all around the room, spraying Valium all over everything. No, dude, that was a great story. I almost got drunk. I got drunk once and almost fell off a mountain pissing. So, equal is fair enough, fair enough. But guys, that was the one. Sip got, it went through your thumb. I know, that's what's crazy. The needle was like this long. It's made to go into the thigh. And it pierced his thumb, but he definitely got a good shot, I'm sure, of some Valium. And he was like, didn't you sleep for like a day and a half? It was awesome, dude. That was one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life. I would never be ashamed of that. That was like legendary. They should write a story about that. That was great. Didn't feel a thing. Oh, it hurts, dude. My cheeks. It hurts. Oh, it hurts. Oh, that's funny. Oh, God bless. Thanks, Ash. Appreciate you stopping by. Stop it, you guys. Oh. Floor was lava. You woke up easy. All right. It's cold. It's cold. You guys are mean to do that. I'm gonna start sitting up where I'm not on the floor anymore. Come here, man. Come here, Minimum. Trying to get the other cat to come by. Piper's over here. Got her. She's winding her butt up. Come here, man. Oh yeah, dude, that was crazy. Dripping blood. Oh, Sip decided to shave when he was trash drunk once, and then we went to go to the DFAC to get some food, and he was bleeding everywhere. Hey, I like that for Steve. JSD? That should be like your new thing. JSD, just some dude. That's cool. Oh, Piper's playing with me. She just went, Caught her. Be free. You want the Chinese food? That after you saw the cat, you want Chinese food? That's weird. Or is it that you just wanted Chinese food randomly and there just happened to be a cat? I don't know which way we're going with this. You should go get some Vinny's Pizza, Sip. That's what you should do. Uh-huh. Go nab up some Vinny's. Oh, okay. Oh, Sip's probably having some chow mein. Sorry, I just saw you saying Chinese and I'm holding a cat and it's just like, well, I mean, if the shoe fits. Yep. Doesn't Sip need a cat? How the fish doing, Sip? How's the fish doing? How's Sarge? Sip's crayfish. I told Sip he needs to start a YouTube channel, but he won't. Cat and pigeons. Oh, well, I thought you were. That's what I thought you were going for, but I wasn't sure if someone said something about Sip saying chow mein, if that was you responding to that or whatnot. Fish. Oh, all right. We got a food. It's just Dean. Oh, that would be sweet. Come on by and drop some off, man. Who doesn't love Chinese? I don't care what's in Chinese food. It's absolutely delicious. Absolutely delicious. Love going to the Chinese buffet because then when they have like the broccoli beef, I pick out all the beef and none of the broccoli. Ha 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 ha. MRE Chinese. Oh my. Did they have that? I don't think so. They had the enchilada, the rice. Man, dude, that is just like when you think about food, though, and you're like, man, when you're really hungry and you want something to eat, and all you have is MRE, it's just such a letdown. Oh, it's so dry. Oh, the flavor. This isn't meat. You know what though? It'd be really cool if they had like 2 egg rolls in a pouch. That would be awesome. 2 egg rolls, a little bit of the sprinkled chow mein, and then like I don't know, like I guess like some rice or something like that with beef and noodles or not beef and noodles, beef and vegetables could be in there, and you could have a side pouch for like a wonton soup that you could heat up in your bag. I mean that would work, right? Oh, that would suck. I loved having a meal card though. Sip and I would go to the defect. My favorite. I've never oxtail. Never had oxtail. There's just so many yummier pieces of the ox we could eat, like a nice big steak. Duck. I've had duck once. It's kind of greasy, isn't it? Though it's just I don't know. Vermicelli. See, now you're starting to talk Sip's language there. He likes all that stuff that ends with Ellie and Vers and Ekkies and various stuff like that. So, crazy. Crazy. Yeah, when I end the stream, though, I'm definitely going to go get my snack on. I don't think I've ever had vermicelli. What is it, like a cheese or something? Or a meat? Huh? Huh? Meat, cheese? Huh? Lamb is good. I love lamb. Sweet and sour. Pasta? Oh, it's a pasta. Well, who doesn't love pasta? Hedgehog tastes like chicken. You ate Sonic, Gary? Mixed meat with noodles, peppers, and onions. Oh, well, that doesn't sound half bad. Spaghetti. Oh, I love spaghetti. I could eat a ton of spaghetti. I could eat spaghetti every day. Love spaghetti. There's so many different things you can do with spaghetti. So many different ways. When Sip makes it, it has this whole different unique flavor. When I make it, it has a good flavor, different. Um, I did make my first focaccia, and I got an approval from the Sip out of it. So, Chef Boyardee. I make a killer lasagna too as well there, Steve. A killer lasagna, but I do a Tex-Mex lasagna. I do a Tex-Mex lasagna. It's pretty beast mode. I won't lie. It's pretty beast mode. Lasagna, right? Is everyone getting hungry or is it just me? I mean, I haven't eaten today. Everyone now we're all just like, we're all like thinking about grubbing, and it's not. It's twice as worse for me. Don't buy ragu. That's all they had, Sip. That's all they had. That's all they had. I swear to God, dude. I looked. I looked everywhere, man, and I was like, he's gonna kick my butt. The PX was closed. The PX was closed. The shopette was the only thing open. The only thing open. I swear to God. Dude, I'm sitting in there. I'm like, Sim's gonna kill me. Oh, that was great. I swear to God, that was it. I swear to God. That was all that they had at the store. It was it. That was all. I was over at Sip's house and he goes, I'm going to make some pasta for us. We're at Fort Irwin. I'm like, okay. He goes, dude, I'm out of sauce. Run to the store and get us some sauce. Get us a can or two of sauce. But not ragu. And I was like, okay. Not ragu. Anything but ragu. And it was a Sunday, so the PX was closed early. And it was like 6 o'clock. The only thing was open was the little store around the corner. So I went over to it. And they only had 3 jars of ragu, and that was it for sauces. Because they don't carry a big stock. They've got one kind, and you're going to pay for this one. And if that's what you want. And I'm like, well, this is what we want. So I got that one, but that was all there is. And I'm looking everywhere. I'm like, they got to have another one. Anything. I wasn't going to go to Walmart. That would have been 2 hours later. That was just the drive. It would have been, dude, it would have cost more in gas. We could have just like freaking, I don't know, gone. There was no restaurants to go to on post. I'm trying to think. There was McDonald's, Burger King, lamb ragu, parsnip, turnip, potatoes. Wouldn't you call them rutabagas instead of turnips? Your takeaways across the road aren't. Ugh. If you guys ever see my town, once you cross a certain bridge overpass, the whole strip becomes nothing but restaurants. It's probably like, let's see if I can count a few up. Different restaurants right when you cross there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There's probably about a good 40 restaurants in a 1 mile, 2 mile stretch. You're going to get a Walmart. Oh, congratulations. Walmart is awesome. It's great. Fried haddock and chips. I don't eat fish very much. No, suede. I knew what you meant. Turnips, but it changed it to suede. That's awesome. I got you, Ann. Yeah, which takeaway? What's your favorite takeaway? And you guys call it takeaway. That's so funny. Takeaway. We're going to take away. Chinese takeaway. Never heard of any of these. You got a new t-shirt today, Sip. High Octane. Ooh. Ooh. Are you ready then, buddy? You got it ready? Ready, steady? Stop it, Peanut. Okay. Probably drove past it loads, Gary. Gary. Hello, Gary. T-shirt. T-shirt time. It's time for t-shirt time. Oh. I don't know. I feel a little off today. I don't know why. Probably because I'm sore from just standing. Don't want to blow it at Peanut. Ha. Sip, you hear that? You should hook Ann up with your t-shirt guy. I love Spock. I told Evie if we had a kid, I wanted to name him Spock. Wouldn't that be a cool name for a kid, Spock? Nobody has the name Spock but Spock. So, yep. And because those movies came out again, you could do that, and the kids wouldn't get left behind. Like they wouldn't not know who he is. So it'd be cool. I don't know. It's a good name. It's a good name. Spock Tyler Durden. Yeah. Right? So Godfrey, like Gilbert Godfrey. Ah, he's got it right there. Live long and prosper. Like you could also do eat shit and die. Sip, tonight you want to play some zombies later tonight? Like around 7 or 8 your time? 7 your time? 6 of my time? You want to play zombies? A little zombie. On 360. You want to play too, Steve? That'd be fun. It might be a little late when you're there. It'd be like midnight for you. But if you're up, I'd love to play zombies with you, Steve-O. You'll show me. So you in, Steve? Oh, you're a PS4 person? Pfft, those people. You probably like iPhones, too. I'm just kidding. Plants vs. Zombies? I have Plants vs. Zombies Aegiston. It's one of them. I have it on Xbox. Yep, see? But let me guess, Steve. Check this out. You want to hear something funny? You're probably like, oh, why should I have to pay to play online games? PlayStation has it for free, right? Ooh, PlayStation gives you free online gaming. Ooh. Well, do remember, though, that, one, I thought of it like this. Xbox, they charge you for online gaming. But it's because they think their product is worth it. They also give you some really cool free games to download every month for free. And the one thing I like about it is that, when PlayStation Network goes down or it crashes or it's not working, you have no one to call. You have nobody to call, Steve. Nobody. Because why? It's free. You can't complain about a free service. And now you pay $40 a year. You've always been a PlayStation man, have you, Steve? Hold on 1 second then, buddy. You'll appreciate this. Oh, this is heavy. This is heavy. Ugh. Let's start at the very beginning. A very good place to start. So, here is my PlayStation, the original, obviously. And now, no, this is not a PS1. And if you call it a PS1, you would be incorrect. It's a PlayStation. PS1 was the smaller one. This is a PlayStation. Okay, well, moving on. Got a wallet, the official PlayStation wallet, full of games. Some really good ones, too. Some really good titles here. We got Twisted Metal 3. Oh, boy. Moving on, we got, well, that's PlayStation 2 games because I have that as well. I've got Parasite Eve, which is a really good game if you remember it. Jedi's Power Battle. Resident Evil 4, which is a great game. These are just some Sing games. I've got another Call of Duty game. Oh, I agree. I need to get Metal Gear Solid again. This is just a jam pack. Probably don't have a lot of those anymore. Xenogears. Oh, that's a good title. Jet Moto and Dino Crisis. Siphon Filter. Another jam pack library card. Jam pack and Enter the Matrix. And that's it for that. Okay. So. Oh, and Steve, then, if you remember PlayStation, then, and I've got more games, they're just over there. Then you remember the game Shark, which, as everybody knows what you would do. Isn't it, though? Dino Crisis was great. I've got Resident Evil 2 over there, as well as you saw Final Fantasy 7. So you would take your game Shark. Let's see if I can line it up correctly. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's a tricky one. It is. There we go. All right, so you would get your Game Shark hooked onto the back of your PlayStation, and then basically this was like a Game Genie. It was just called a Game Shark, but it was a Game Genie. So there it is. And that's really cool. Now, Steve, you're probably saying, oh, isn't that cool? Yeah, that's awesome. But you said you're a PlayStation man. You're a PlayStation man. Well, any PlayStation man has got to have the PSP, of course. Oh, pick a few up if you see them for me, Gaston. Look at that old one. And this one's the spring-loaded one. So it's the 101 model. I have two as well. But here we go. Here's something you don't see there. Oh. Let's go ahead and mention those because you got to. Got the memory card for the PlayStation 1. It's got all the extra memory cards. It's a lot of memory cards. And then for the PlayStation 2, I had to get a whole different memory card. So I got that memory card for the PlayStation 2. And look how big that is. A whole 64 megabytes. What? It's way too much. My NES, I'll be picking up on the 1st. I got the NES 2. Ooh, Resident Evil Director's Cut. I have Resident Evil Remake on the Game Boy, but Director's Cut was one of the first, and it's a lot of fun. But look at this there. Look at this, Steve. This is a PlayStation 2 custom-made. Custom-made PlayStation 2 with the built-in screen, speakers, audio jack ports, brightness control, contrast and volume, color. Oh, it's great. Right? Look at that. Works like a charm. Works like a charm. Bam. And then if you guys don't know, if you guys you're into retro gaming, and you know what? I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to give you an insight. This is one from the G-Bomb telling you now. Go pick up your Xboxes now. Now is the time. Go get your Xboxes. The original Xbox. Go get them. It's getting hard to find these things a little more now. So, I still have Sip's original game he had for his Xbox, but I went and picked this one up for like $35, and I'm telling you, people, I'm telling you, these Xboxes, you have no idea what Microsoft put into these things. This is not just a gaming console. This is a computer. This is a full-fledged computer. I mean, look at the size of this thing. I mean, even compared to my PlayStation 2, with the screen, you don't... Oh, wow, this is heavy to hold. It's big. It's big. Go pick up one now. If you find one at a yard sale laying around, or you know somebody who has one who doesn't use it, ask them for it. You know? These are going to get hard to find in the next couple of years. They're bottoming out right now in value. Nobody wants them. Nobody wants them. So I picked this one up for like $30 at the game store. So you can probably get one cheaper anywhere, but go pick one up. The controllers are getting a little expensive now, especially because they have a different plug. So, Piper, get out of there. Okay, she wants to be in there. But, so yeah. See, Xbox 360 with 27 games, $70. That's nothing. Which probably going to play with Sip Call of Duty World at War. But go get your original Xbox. You know what you can do with these things? If you can unlock these things and hook it up, you can have every video game system ever made loaded onto this with like every game, and you can play that for like nothing. You just got to take it to somebody who knows computers who can unlock it for you and hook you up. I bet there's a computer store that could do it. But yeah, dude, this is a me. Oh, the reason Sony was dominating the market with the PlayStation 2. So when the Xbox hit, all Microsoft did was they took a best of their gaming stuff and they stuck it into a machine just to have something to play against. And it has everything on it. It's just got certain blocks on it. And once you remove those blocks, you've got a monster of a console here. It's going to be in the retro world in probably 10, 15, 20 years. Nobody's going to have these anymore, and they're going to be cool. And if you can get them loaded and hacked now... Oh, gaming people. Shelly, you've seen some of my games. This is the tip of the iceberg. This is just the tip of the iceberg of my retro gaming collection. And it was a lot of fun to build the set and what I'm picking up. And like I said, on the 1st, I'll have new stuff to add to it. I went out and I specifically got the Super Game Boy for you guys, so that when I play retro gaming, now we can play retro gaming on the big TV and we can play Game Boy games. So I no longer would have to try to point a camera at just my small Game Boy, the original. I can put it on the big screen and we can play Game Boy games now. So I got that for us, and that's going to be a lot of fun. That's just one more thing of retro gaming. It's going to open up so many more games. We can play Mega Man, and we can do the Kirby and Pokemon and all that good stuff. I I have a Sega. I have all 3 models of Sega, Shelly. All 3 models. The Sega Genesis, the Sega 2 model, and I've got the late release by an outside third-party vendor of the Sega 3. And I have one of the... Well, the 3 is Evie's, and the other one I have technically is Brad's. So yeah, I've got 3 models of Sega. Tons of Sega games. GameCube, Nintendo 64, Nintendo SNES will be on its way. The NES I have is the limited special edition, or not special edition, the limited top loader. There is an original one over there. I haven't gotten it to fire a game up yet, but I didn't try very long either. You never played Sega or Pokemon? Well, I've got Pokemon. I can play Pokemon on the Nintendo 64 with the add-on I have for it. Q*bert, Sonic and Knuckles. I have Sonic and Knuckles, and I've got Sonic 2, and I've got the attached to it. You should go back and watch the Retro Stack video where we hooked up the Sega. I'm going to get a 32X. Now I'm going to get a 32X. I need to find a 32X at a reasonable price. But that's going to take a little bit. Maybe I'll trade some stuff off. I've got an extra PlayStation, and maybe that original Nintendo I can trade off for a 32X. That would be good. Then I can consolidate down, free some space up, and get the add-on I need. Because I'm trying to build the ultimate Sega stack. I want the ultimate Sega stack. And then Chris will bring over his Sega CD once I get the 32X. So we'll have the Sega CD with the Sega Genesis, the 32X. We're going to have... I wonder if Doom will fit onto the Sega Genie, the Game Genie. Because if it would, then it would be great. Because then we could put Sonic and Knuckles... Well, no, because I want it to work. I want it to be a functioning stack. So I guess it would be then the Sega with the Sega CD add-on with the 32X on top of it with Sonic and Knuckles, no, with the Game Genie with Sonic and Knuckles with Sonic 3 all in one, and that would be my ultimate Sega stack. They're not old school games to me, they're just the games I played when I was a kid. It's the world now that calls these things retro gaming. To me, it's just gaming that I had. I'm just getting back all the stuff I had when I was a kid. Piper, don't chew on my cords. Get out of there. But yeah, so that's just... These are the newer of the Xbox. The original Xbox is the newest system I have of all my systems. PlayStation... Well, besides, I don't count the Xbox 360. That's not even really just a gaming console to me. That's more like just a home entertainment system of some sort. It does a lot of more than just media. I do have an Atari, but that's at my mom's house right now. I let her borrow it so she can play games on it because she used to love Pac-Man when I was a kid, so I wanted her to be able to play that. And I pick up Atari games. I've got a couple ColecoVision games, although I sold my ColecoVision. I did do a video on it before I sold it because, again, the story behind it, I got to have one, check it out, touch the buttons, and then I let it go because I just wasn't interested in Coleco. I never had a Coleco. Yeah, Mom plays Atari. She's really good at Pac-Man. Really good at Pac-Man. Your Lynx, your Atari Lynx. Oh, you had one? I've never actually held one. I've seen them pictures, and I've seen one in the game store, but I've never actually played a Lynx. They've got some video games for the Lynx for sale. They've got one Virtual Boy game up there at the game store, and it's like a super rare Virtual Boy game, and I'd love to pick it up just to have it, because anybody in a few years would be obviously having to pay through the roof to get it. A Lynx? Oh, yeah, tell them about your Lynx. You had it in Intellivision, did you, Daniel? Oh, that's a good, if you still had that, that would be great if you could find that at your dad's place or whatever. A Lynx, though, was the first handheld portable game unit there, Gaston, that was also in color, and it was made by Atari. Later, it would then be, the next one that would come out would be the Sega, what were those things called? Game Gears, the Sega Game Gears. But it was the first color handheld. Yeah, it was odd shaped. The controllers were really odd shaped, and it was really wide with the screen in the middle. But there was like a Batman game on it that was somewhat decent. But it sacked a lot of batteries up as well. Oh, did you? 1/4, 2 hours. Wow. That's awesome. When I was like 3, I used to play Pac-Man on the Atari, and I would kick my dad's butt, and he would get so mad. So mad. Mega Mania was one of my favorite games. Time Crisis. That's a good dang game. That's a good one. Time Crisis. I love Time Crisis. Um, I've got Area 51 over there on PlayStation, but the problem is it won't work on this TV. So I have to go get an old tube TV, or I have to put a piece of plastic in front of the TV to reflect the light, because it's different now. It's not tubes. Kung Fu, yes, Daniel. I keep all those games for you. There's certain games I hang on to just because Daniel likes to play them. Kung Fu being one of his favorite games in the world. Every time he comes over, we have to play Kung Fu. I got a hockey game for him because he likes hockey on Nintendo so much. And so there's some games I get for friends and stuff they have nostalgia with. You know, it's fun. It's fun when you have your friends come over, and you got to have games for them too to play that they like. So your friend, you're not just playing all your favorites. Whatever, dude. I beat you. I was the first person to ever beat you in that game, and the only person to beat you in that game. So whatevers. I do what I want. Yay, Anne's got coffee. No, I've never played No Man's Sky. I heard good things about it, but see, I played the. If you want to play a game similar to that, just some dude, that's probably a lot more. That's a lot of fun. Play Starflight. Starflight, I would say, was probably original No Man's Sky, but you play it on the Sega Genesis, and it's actually a very in-depth, fun game to play, and it's essentially like I would say, an earlier edition of No Man's Sky, but I think they did very well. It's an unknown little gem. I actually had to go online. I've never seen a copy in the wild, so I specifically went online and I ordered it, and I think it was like $11. But if you want one of the most in-depth games that you're ever going to spend $11 on a Sega Genesis, and with the save feature, and you probably have something like, I don't know, if you went to every star system in the game and went to every planet that you were capable of landing on, and you went to everywhere on the planet you could possibly go, you could spend years playing that game. Now, there is a mission, of course, to be solved, a specific, task, but you can go off task. There is a time limit, but it does give you a ton of time. And then once you've solved that task, you can continue on with the game and play more. And it's still a lot of fun. Even after the game is over, you can still just go explore stuff. And there's tons and tons to do. Like I said, it would take you forever. And it wouldn't be just like an easy task, like once you beat a game, oh, I can go anywhere now and just explore everything. No, it would still take you a while. It would still take a long time and a lot of work. And I think that if somebody printed off a big map and checked, it's an older game that was on computer a long time ago, and my dad played it back in the 80s, and then it transferred over to Sega. And it's a lot of fun. They did a great job on the transfer over. It looks different than what the computer one was, but it was still good. Atari on Pitfall was good. I have Atari on. SIP. I have a Pitfall on Sega. We were talking about that, weren't we, Daniel? Well, since Shelly likes it, and Sip and I were just talking about it, Daniel was talking about Pitfall on Sega Genesis, and I got it right there. And the story behind it is this is actually the son of the guy from the Atari, and now he's got his own adventure. And of course, if you remember the classic Sega books that came with it, and if you needed a hint, you called the 1-800 number on the back. And I love how they called this one the Survival Guide. I was never a huge Roller Coaster Tycoon. Well, here's something for you guys since you want to go retro. There's Donkey Kong on Atari. And then here's Donkey Kong on ColecoVision. So I only got these because I can play this one, but I don't have a ColecoVision. But it's just cool to have two copies of the same title. And what I think about this is cool is that you got to remember this. Check this out. When you really think about it, this is made by Coleco, licensed by Nintendo, made for the Atari. This is made by Coleco, licensed by Nintendo, excuse me, and this is for, excuse me, this isn't made for ColecoVision. This is Intellivision. This is made for the Intellivision. So this is Donkey Kong on Intellivision. So I apologize. So this is 3 licensings come together. Coleco, Nintendo, Intellivision, Coleco, Nintendo, Atari. Never happen again today. You can never get that kind of cooperation. Never. Sip. This one Sip will appreciate. Right? Still can't beat Toe Jam and Earl? Oh, I couldn't either, but what I had to do was I went out and got a Game Genie to beat Toe Jam and Earl. You still got to go back and watch the video. Didn't Nintendo start with Game On? No, Nintendo started as they made playing cards in Japan. But here's Porky's on Atari. That was fun. It was my first time ever beating the game, too. I had to use cheat codes, but there's Porky's on Atari, which is actually an adult-rated game. Revenge of the Beefsteak Tomatoes, which is an amazing one. I've still never played this one yet. And then the only reason I bought this copy was Atlantis, is they made an Atlantis 2 game. And the only distinction is that if you put it in the game system, and instead of it saying Atlantis, there would be an Atlantis 2 next to it. So if it's an Atlantis 2, it's worth thousands of dollars. If it's an Atlantis, it's worth about $2. But until I put it into a machine and play it, I would say that it's Schrodinger's cat, correct? Okay, so there's the Sega 3, Model 3, the little one, very small, very compact. You know, honestly, when you look at it, it's not much bigger than an Xbox 360 controller. Okay. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so then you move back, and then we go to the Model 2. There's the Model 2, right? This one is missing its cover over here, but that's for the Sega CD add-on. You would just slide that off, and then it would go hook onto it. So somebody at one point clearly had a Sega CD going with this unit. And then when we go back to 1989, and we come back to the original Sega Genesis model, or for you guys in Britain, this would be the Sega Master System. But for us in America, it was the Sega Genesis. So there it is. But it's just the same thing, just different name. Nothing different about it. I like that it had the volume control with the headphones. The Master System. Yeah, but this is the Sega Genesis, not the Master System. So I would love to get a hold of a Master System from the UK, just so I could have one, and it would be cool to do a side-by-side of them and just complete everything with it. But still works great, in great shape. Good working unit. Of course, we got the Game Genie, as you saw. And I picked up my first, I got 32X on Doom, so I got to go get a 32X now. That game I was telling you about, Steve. No, man, this is it right here, Starflight. Just different regions. I believe Genesis was already the name of a product, probably in the UK, so they weren't able to call it a Genesis, so they changed it to something else, Master System. Or maybe Master System was taken up in America, so they had to change it to an American title. I don't know. But it was just different regions. You guys have gotten different names for different games, too, before. So, yeah. But there's Starflight. Great game. Lots of fun. This will take you years to explore everything in this little cartridge. Of course, you got Sonic. And this is the original one that was packaged with the unit, because it says not for resale. Let's see. We got Mickey's House of Illusion, but that's been promised to Brad. I'm going to give this one to Brad with his... Brad has already been promised. I went to kind of go mail it to him, and they're charging ridiculous. I got to find a better shipping method. But he's going to be getting a copy of this together, so he can start his own retro collection. This one's Eevee's game. Busy World of Richard Scarry. Got Harry Potters. I do. I've got several Harry Potters. I buy them for Eevee, but I've got them spanning different titles. All the different game systems, I've got Harry Potters, but most of them are all CD based. So it's all CD based game. A little bit of Street Fighter. Let's see. This one's actually starting to get worth a little bit of money now. It's a Tiny Toon Adventure Buster's Hidden Treasure. This one's starting to get a little bit of value. I got it for $8.99 at the game store. It's now selling for like $13, $14. So that was a good pick by Evie. The Toxic Crusader. Remember the guys? Remember Toxic Crusader? Bam. I don't know why I kept this one, but it was actually a little bit of a fun game, and maybe Sip will play it sometime. A little bit of King's Island Fishing. Philosopher's Stone is Sorcerer's Stone. Yeah. This is a blank one, but I know that it's a wrestling game. And then there's Pebble Beach. This is actually considered probably one of the better golf games ever made on this one. But someone has got some tape all over this, and I don't know why. And it seems like the back may have broken off, and someone just taped the crap out of it. But I'm not going to take it off. And I have played it. It does work. I do have Halo 2, and you suck at it, Sip. I can kick Sip's butt at Halo 2 all day. All day. Okay, and then we've got Toy Story. One of my favorite games of all time. I can beat it. It's a lot of fun to play. Vector Man. Vector Man was a great game when it first came out, and who doesn't love Vector Man? If you're going to have Vector Man, you got to have Vector Man 2. It only makes sense, right? I'm not a screen watcher. You just suck. This is a baseball player, Roger Clemens. A Counter-Strike. Do I have Counter-Strike? No, I don't have Counter-Strike, but I need to get it. I do have the 6-in-1 game, if you remember it. And it's got, let's see, it's got Sonic the Hedgehog, Golden Axe, Streets of Rage, Revenge of Shinobi, Columns, and Super Hang-On. So look at that. That's pretty cool, huh? We went through that one. Of course, the original Sonic Mortal Kombat. This game I'm still learning to play, but it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to learn. Star Trek: The Next Generations. It is very in-depth, a lot of what's going on, and I'm not sure what to do. I would love to have you come over, Steve, and play games all night. Aladdin, if you guys ever want to see me, I can beat Aladdin in one go. It won't take me but one time to beat Aladdin. Maybe not in one life, which was what the challenge was last time, but I can beat this game in one setting. Probably about 20-25 minutes we can knock it out and beat the game. No cheats, no codes. Even now, I still have everything memorized. Right? I love the Star Trek one, and the artwork, someone took good care of it. It's really good artwork. It's covered nicely. The label's good. Echo the Dolphin. I had Echo the Dolphin. I don't have it now, but I need to get a copy of it. But a little Jean-Luc Picard there. A little, I'm not sure all the other characters' names, but there they are. Spy versus Spy. I've got your Spy versus Spy, Daniel. I would never get rid of that. I got Air Defender, which is an airplane kind of fighter game, but you're playing in an SR-71 Blackbird. And it's actually, I think this is a remake because it's got the colorless book. So it might be an original, I don't know, but I think it's a remake game. Of course, you got to have Sonic and Knuckles, and I've got it in package. And if you guys remember, Sonic and Knuckles was a special game because it actually had an add-on to the top where you could click in. And what that was is the reason Sega did that was originally the game was supposed to be Sonic and Knuckles and Sonic 3 all in one, but they ran out of time. So they developed half the game like this, and then when they went back and developed a second game to make also more sales out of it, you could click on the top. But what you can also do with this one, though, is that when you get your copy of Sonic 2, which I got a nice complete copy set of Sonic 2 right there, as well as, if you remember, this one came with a poster. And someone was kind enough to leave the poster in when they sold it to the game store. And I went ahead and picked it up. And we've got, somebody mentioned, I think somebody was talking to me about it. There's got the nice Jurassic Park and Sega Genesis poster. How about that? And then it's got some of all the gaming stuff that you could buy for. This is really funny. This one, the TV tuner. I know where one is, but it won't work anymore because there's no radio waves. It's all digital. And then what's this one over here? We've got the Game Gear, of course, we talked about. And then the Sega CD, but they don't have the Nomad featured here. And then here was the new one. When they were featuring the new, smaller 2 model. So, what's some of the games they've got on here? Echo the Dolphin I would like to get again. Batman Returns. That was actually pretty fun. Final Fight was good. Jurassic Park I could get again. I had Rampage Edition, but that was wicked hard. Cool Spot would be cool to get again. I have Sonic 2. Roadrunner would be good to get. What's the difference? They got... Oh, that's on Sega CD over here, which I've got the Batman Returns. That's right over there. Then I do have that one because it's on Sega CD. This is Game Gear games. So let's move into the Genesis games. Yeah, I'd take Echo the Dolphin. X-Men would be good to get again. I wouldn't mind getting X-Men again. Actually, X-Men was really good. The only one system I do kind of want for one thing, I do want a Neo Geo, only because now I found out that X-Men Children of the Atom, the video game from the arcade, it might be better just to buy an arcade closet that has it and just buy my own cabinet of the system than to actually go out and get a Neo Geo, which would cost a ton. But if I've got my own video gaming cabinet, I would love to get X-Men Children of the Atom. That was one of my favorite games of all time, and I was really good at it. Kind of like an X-Men versus Street Fighter, but before X-Men versus Street Fighter. And then Sip told me, he goes, dude, go out and get Risk. Did you ever play Risk on Sega? And I was like, yeah, I loved Risk on Sega. He goes, oh yeah, dude, me too. So I went out and bought Risk on Sega to have for him, and he's like, no, dude, it's Risk on PlayStation. I'm like, oh, well, darn it. But we can play Risk on PlayStation like that. But there's a better mode on this one to play where you actually get to shoot at each other. And then I've got this one. It's called Hit the Ice. Children of the Atom, spelled A-T-O-M. Which one would I play on YouTube? Which game? And then this is called Hit the Ice, which was an arcade port to a home console. And I think this was meant for a video game rental store because, actually, let's do a quick bit of research on it. I don't even know where I got it. Hit the Ice. Sega. Hit the Ice, Sega Genesis. Shopping. Let's do shopping, see what it's going for. Holy crap. This game's actually worth a bit of money. No way. How about that? Oh, they got Toe Jam and Earl for $25 used. I see a copy for sale. $25. $25, $22. You can get this for about $25, $22. But let me see if it comes with, because what I have is, you don't understand that the box makes a difference. The box makes a difference. Oh, for a Neo Geo? Oh, and don't look for a Neo Geo, hon. Those are so expensive, you have no idea. Don't even waste your time. Well, should I pull out the other drawer since we're going through them all? Got one more drawer of games to go through. Should we do it? Just knock it all out? Should I make a mess? I do have some football games, but I got these two football games for only one reason, because here's Madden 97, which everybody is very, very familiar with. But this one is John Madden Football. This was the last year that the football game was ever called John Madden Football, as opposed to what we all know now as Madden Football. So I got these copies just to have it. No, it's football is football, and that's soccer. Okay, one more gaming cabinet to break out. Hold on. Last one. Plus some more games. I'll grab up the rest of the games. Hold on, there's a lot to move. I gotta grab a lot of stuff. Okay, last drawer coming out. Well, it's not the last drawer. It's going to have to be 2 drawers worth of stuff. And I'll bring it over in one load. Okie dokie. Okay. Okay. Alright, well, first off, we said The Adventures of Batman and Robin on Sega CD. And there it is. I got the top somewhere to it. But there it is right there. Woo. Some really cool cover art on the back. We've already seen this one, though. We went over it. I don't know why we're doing this again. I've gone over most of it. We've never shown the whole collection at once, though, I think. Alright, let's knock out some of the original Xbox games. Oh, Gary was asking about Harry Potter. Here's Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire on the GameCube. I got it all right there. There we go. I've got NHL Hockey for SIP. This game, I don't know where I got it from. It's just a drive around, got crazy game. Lord of the Rings, Two Towers. The Hobbit, which is the one I got from SIP.
Who is this? Oh, you got a new number?
Here's Halo 2.
Oh, okay. Happy birthday.
Oh, it's Carla. Happy birthday. Let's just continue on. She's on the phone right now. Evie just woke up. This is Evie's game because she collects Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen games. So there's her GameCube game. And you know what? Some of these games are actually really hard. I tried playing it once. It's really hard. I think too hard. And then Incredibles came with when I got the GameCube. There you go. And then as I was saying, we got the Resident Evil Remix, which is on 2 discs. So that's a lot of fun too as well. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets for PlayStation 2. And there she blows. Yeah. Now what's this one? Oh, this one. This one I'm really proud to have found. I found it in a thrift store, which usually knows that you found a good one. This is Resident Evil Outbreak. And says hello, good morning. And I don't actually know anything about this one. It's supposed to be an online game for the PlayStation 2. Outbreak on PlayStation 2. Let's check it out. Okay, they've got it going for anywhere from $8 to $30. That's not bad. I think I got it for $1. A Neo Geo, to find one that I can get that'll work, I gotta find one that somebody has it and doesn't know what they've got. SIP gave me this one. You still here, Daniel? Huh? You still here? And there's Grand Theft Auto 3. He gave me this one. And this one I just picked up because I thought, you know, I see some games and you're like, man, that's probably a stupid game and it's not worth picking up. But what I'm learning about in the retro gaming thing is games like that are the ones that become worth a lot more money later because they're so hard to find. So I picked this one up kind of for Daniel, but because I thought of, I don't know, I just thought he would like it too. And it's Gun Club. And basically all you do is I'll read it to you. Choose your gun, enter the range, and steady your nerves. Take aim and fire. NRA Gun Club, NRA, puts over 100 true-to-life guns in the hands to test your shooting skills. The traditional first-person shooter now has a different perspective. NRA Gun Club is void of violence or blood. And basically, you just get to shoot a bunch of guns. And it's endorsed by the NRA, Jarhead Games, Crave Entertainment. So I thought this one would be a perfect one to pick up, and it would be one of those games that nobody ever has, but eventually if someone wants to have the whole collection, this is a game they have to have. If you want to have all the PlayStation 2 collection, then you have to have Gun Club. If you don't, you're not complete. And I doubt that there were a lot of these. Let's actually check that one out. I got that one at a thrift store as well. PS2. And there's some people who've played it. Images. Let's see. I doubt it's worth much. It's not an old game. Right now, it's only going for about. Oh, you can get a copy for about. A brand new copy is 16. Goes for about 5. Well, I did good. I picked it up for I think 70 cents. So that's good for right now. That's a good hold me on to game. Okay, let's start emptying this thing out. We're gonna keep moving on. Let's finish up the CD titles so that we can be done with those. Of course, you gotta have Resident Evil. Oh, the coin collecting guy. Well, absolutely. Take care, Steve. Let's see you later, man. Well, then don't miss. If you want to go check out your coin collecting guide, go for it. Absolutely, though. Who doesn't love coin collecting? Sip and I used to collect coins as well. Love collecting coins. And then I've got Resident Evil 2 on the original PlayStation. And you got there's Leon's disc. And you open up the other side, and there's Claire's disc. Bam. And then PSP, you got to have Crisis Core on PSP. And there she is, little Crisis Core. Oh, well, bye. We'll see you later, Shelly. Absolutely. Go check them out and enjoy. Maybe tell them to give a shout out to me. Send a couple people over. Say hi. Sub swap them. I got this game for Evie. It's a Looney Tunes game, Tiny Toons. She seems to like Tiny Toon games, and it's actually not bad of a game. It's a little fun. Another Harry Potter game, and this is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, speaking of which. Sweet, sweet. So there's your Philosopher's Stone. I got this game for Evie, so she'd have a game to play on the original Xbox, and it's the Fable Anniversary Edition for Xbox. So it's different. It's a different special disc. And then Brad sent me this one, and it's Tomb Raider on PlayStation Now. I remember I got it to work once, but I haven't been able to get it to work again. And I think what it is, I need to play it on the PlayStation 2, and it'll work. But this is actually a remake game. So they buy up the licensing to old games and remake them and re-release them. But I've got it to work once. I got to try to get it to work again, but Brad sent me that one. And then, of course, I've got Final Fantasy VII, but I've got 2 copies, just in case one disc doesn't work, the other will. But what's interesting is that they're not the same for some reason. See, they're both greatest hits, okay? But the one on the top, see how the box lettering is black and black, okay? But this one, the opposite side. See how it's green and black? And then this one's green and green. And I don't know what that means, but I've got both copies of it. So it might be 2 different copies, but if somebody wants to have all of them, you want to have every game, every release, and you have Final Fantasy VII, but you have the double or this one, then you don't have them all. Okay, we got the original Game Boy, of course. Still works great, like a charm. Can turn it on. Okay, what else? Let's finish up this. Okay, now we're moving, I guess, into the Nintendo region. Whoops. Okay, so of course I've got Monster Party on the NES. It's a pretty fun game. Not bad to play. I've got Smash TV, which Sip and I used to play it on his original Xbox, but here's the original Nintendo version. And in the original arcade, there was no way to beat it. Here's Little Nemo. There you go. A nice sleeve. Little Nemo. This is Top Secret episode Golo Go 13, or I don't know what that means. But there it is, whatever that is. One of my favorite games, Captain Skyhawk. I picked that up in California for a couple bucks. Tetris, of course. I have Tetris. I've got Top Gun. Contra. There we go. Off-Road, which is one of Sip's favorite games. Rampage. If you remember Rampage, you go around smashing up buildings and stuff. Dr. Mario. Jaws. I love Jaws. Jaws is a great game. You can beat it in a few minutes. It's a lot of fun to play. I've got, of course, Super Mario Brothers, because you got to have Super Mario Brothers. If you have Top Gun, you got to have Top Gun Second Mission, which I do, right there. I've got of course, my gold cart of Zelda, the original Zelda. You guys have always seen the Sonic Dreamcast. There's Sonic for Dreamcast. Don't have a Dreamcast yet. Want to get one. Love to get a Sonic Dreamcast. Let's finish up the Nintendo games. Got Bart Simpson versus the Space Mutants. That's a pretty cool game. Rolling Thunder, one of my favorite games, made by the Tengen Group. So they just started making their own games, and Nintendo wasn't very happy about that. One of my favorite games of all time, Fester's Quest. I've never written down a list, but I mean, you guys are going to see everything I have right here now. One of my favorite games of all time, Little League World Series Baseball. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, featuring Kevin Costner. Another one of my all-time favorite games of all time is Shadowgate. This would be a game I would consider speedrunning if I ever decided to do speedruns. It would take me a little bit of preparation, but I bet I could do it. Ice Hockey for SIP, as I said. Another copy of Top Gun, which I probably just need to get rid of, or maybe I'll tell you what, maybe if somebody wants a copy of Top Gun, maybe we'll just give it away to somebody, do a giveaway, and somebody can have a copy of Top Gun. There's Sip's Kung Fu, of course, and his Spy versus Spy. And this game right here, I think, is a hidden gem in the NES library that not a lot of people know about, but is an amazing in-depth game, and it's called Guardian Legend. Oh, yeah, right here. It's a lot of fun, too. It was a lot of fun. I love playing this one. It's got all the characters in it from the movie. Just like, it plays like the movie. And then Guardian Legend, I think, is one of theirs. Is an amazing hidden gem of a game, really in depth. Sly Fox. I'm not sure what Sly Fox games were. Okay, well, let's move on. We're just moving on now. We're finished with NES, guys. Well, no, we're not finished with NES. Let's finish up the NES. Of course, you guys... Hold on. Last thing to get. I promise. I promise. Okay. You can't finish up without, of course, the original NES. Here she blows. Right? Everybody remembers this NES. But I don't just have that NES.
Butter!
I have this NES.
Stop!
And this is the top loader. The fabled and famous top loading NES. Very rare. And you can see the difference between the two. Huh, never heard of it. But there's the two models of Nintendo. Top loader is a great one, and they only made it for 1 year. Look at the size difference. And that's why I got the Super Nintendo 2 on the way, because that was a second make, low number made model as well, so I'll have the two rare models. Already saw the Game Boy. Of course, we've got the GameCube. Just a standard GameCube, nothing special. But really cool. Works great. Great little machine. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. Nintendo 64 time. Okay, we got Star Fox. Pokemon Stadium. If you're going to have Pokemon Stadium, you have to have the converter pack to go with it. GameCube. You've never seen a GameCube? How does GameCube work? Pretty much just the similar. Just you open it up. The small discs, like, hold on, we'll pull out one of the small discs. Let's see. Yeah. Resident Evil Remake. And you just, on your small discs. Little tiny disc. Goes in right on top, and you're good to go. And they actually made it with the handle because they expected people to carry it around and take it and go places and play with their GameCube. So there you go. It's got also, what's really nifty about it is you can go online, and I'd love to get one of these as well for it. And that'll be someday. They make an expansion for it. So right here on the bottom, you can open up this expansion port, and we've got all these expansion ports you can unlock. So it opens up the bottom of the system, and you can actually plug in. They were going to make a DVD player plug-in, but they didn't. They did in Japan, but we didn't get one in America. But they make this extension port so that you can plug in a bottom unit to play your Game Boy games on. So this will also play Game Boy games with the right setup. You need a disc and the add-on. I've never seen one, but I'd love to get one someday. And there it goes. It goes back up. Nice GameCube. Works great, though. Great little system. Very powerful. But it's actually better than the Wii. More powerful than the Wii. But yeah, if you're going to have Pokemon Stadium, you have to have the transfer pack. And then you have to have a Pokemon game of blue, red, or green. Blue, red, or yellow. Or green if you were in Japan. And you build your Pokemon up in this. And then you can battle them on this by hooking this into this and plugging it into the controller. So it kind of goes together. You kind of have to have them. You kind of gotta. So there it is, Pokemon Stadium. Of course, you have to have a memory card. Just a standard memory card plugs in the bottom of the controller. This was like one of the first things to have a memory card like that. It was very innovative. Take it and go. You take your games over to your friend's house and play at your friend's house instead of having to bring the whole console in your own game. Pilot Wings, which was one of the first games released on the Nintendo 64. It was released with Mario 64 and Pilot Wings were the first two games available upon launch of the Nintendo 64 in 1996. As Gary mentioned before, it is one of the top games. GoldenEye 007 on the Nintendo 64 was like a revolutionary game. It was at #1 gaming for like 5 years in a row. This game was awesome, set the standard for two-player shoot-'ems. Of course, you have to have your Zelda Ocarina of Time, which is just a classic game. Majora's Mask I wasn't a big fan of, and originally Majora's Mask was made as an add-on. It was supposed to be a standalone game, but it eventually was made into a standalone game. And then I've got a hockey game, because I like just to keep hockey games available for Sip anytime he wants to come over and play, and he wants to try a different venue of hockey. I've got multiple venues of hockey for us to play. Okay, last bit of games, guys, I promises. For my system, Evie's got more games that she collects too. I got her, I found this at the store. It's a Nintendo DS pink kit, so she's got that one. I'm not going to pull the Nintendo 64 out because you guys have seen the Nintendo 64. It's just a Nintendo 64, nothing special. It does have the expansion cart in it to make it more RAM. But moving on into the Game Boy games, we've got another Zelda game, a lesser known title, but still a goodie. And Evie got this for me, and it's Zelda Oracle of the Seasons, not of the ages, of the seasons. And what's nice is that it's 2 games in one, where you got to kind of buy both to beat it correctly. But Oracle of the Seasons is more of an action one, whereas Oracle of the Ages was more of a puzzle one. And I do like the action more than puzzle, so I'm very, very happy with that one. Very, very happy. And then I've got Mega Man, Dr. Wily's Revenge. Yeah, Dr. Wily's Revenge. Is it compatible with Mac? None of these games, I would imagine, are compatible with Mac. I mean, there might be some ports over it. Now, I do have the original Nintendo 64 memory that goes into it, so if I ever decide to take it out and put it into a different one, I can keep this one going, and I've got it. Or if I ever find a Nintendo 64 that's not working because it doesn't have one of these at all, at least I can have 2 up and running then, as opposed to just, you can probably pick up one without one if it's not working for like $5. Stick this into it and suddenly you got yourself a $60 investment. Donkey Kong on Game Boy. I will tell her later on, Sip, for you. I will tell her. Let's see. I've got Castlevania on Game Boy. This one I'm really excited to play. And I want to play these games on big screen with you guys, and that's why I went and got the Super Game Boy for the NES, so I could play those with you. You guys have already seen, of course, Pokemon. We talked about it. You can't see the label because it's messed up, but this is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on Game Boy, and I've never played that one before, so that's going to be a lot of fun. This one is absolutely horrible, but I just had to get it because I already have it on the other system, and it's Mortal Kombat on on Game Boy, and it runs super slow. So I'm hoping maybe if we plug it into the Super Game Boy, it'll actually play at a speed that's tolerable. Here's Donkey Kong Land on the game. This is going to be a lot of fun to play on. I think it'll work really well with the Game Boy, the Super Game Boy pack. So this is one of the games that was specifically designed to work with the Super Game Boy. So this one's going to be a lot of fun to be able to play because it's supposed to work with it. And then here's Kirby's Dream Land. And I love Kirby. I'm a huge Kirby fan. But you don't take on the powers in this one. Hold on. Let's get it to focus so you can see well. There you go. Little Kirby's Dream Land there. Sorry about that. So there's Kirby. And then I got this one not because it's not a real Final Fantasy game, but it's called Final Fantasy Legend. And it's not anything to do with Square or anything like that. I wish it would focus better. There we go. But because it says Final Fantasy Legend, I went and picked it up just because of that. And then actually just because of that too, there was a guy on a Facebook group I'm part of for retro gamers, and he was like, look at my complete collection of Final Fantasy series. I'm looking through it, and I was like, you're missing one. He was like, no, I'm not. I've got them all. I'm like, you don't have this one. He was like, I don't have that one. I was like, are we going to talk trades? And then he was like, no, I just went and ordered it off the internet. I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, that works too, as long as you know. But he didn't know that he was missing one, technically. And like I said, if you're into collecting completely, you kind of have to collect completely. And he wasn't, so now he is, so we squared him away. Okay, guys, that finally wraps up everything. That's all my gaming stuff, my retro gaming stuff. So you now have it in one entire sitting, seeing everything that we've got working in the system for us. That was a lot of fun. I forgot how many games I have. So many games. So many games. It's hard to fit them all in places, but what Evie and I are going to do is we've decided for Christmas what we're going to do is we're going to take the upstairs room, the spare room, and we are going to finally design it as our collectibles room. So for Christmas, we're going to get everything we need and that's our Christmas gift to each other, is we're going to get an old school TV set up there, and I'm going to get all my games, all this stuff set up in that room, and we're going to have all of our collectibles put on shelves in the walls and pinned up all around, and we're going to put all our collectibles up finally, and they're going to be in one room, one spot, so I won't have to... Evie can still use the TV down here, and I'll be able to go upstairs, and that's going to be our Christmas gift to one another this year, is we're going to build that room together, because Evie's also got some amazing collectibles. There's a whole room, my room upstairs, I've got a shelf full of collectibles that I've never really showed you guys, and that stuff just sits up there, Ash was crying over when I was opening up the old comic books, the old 90s comic books. He was like, I don't care, it's just old comic books. He was like, he was really getting upset over it, and it was kind of funny. Now, a lot of these games I don't really plan to keep either. Some of them I'm going to get rid of because I have no use for them, or they're just not games I enjoy playing. But I'm not going to get rid of them until I get rid of them. I prefer to do private trades a lot more because you can get so much better stuff out of private trades than selling to a game store. But then again, I have to commit and dedicate the time to actually attempt to mess around and meet people to go do private trades, which is a real pain in the butt. But, you know, maybe someday I'll put some more up there, get some more selling, trading. I don't like selling because anybody can get money, but it's harder to get a hold of more games that are just harder to get a hold of. So I'd rather have trades than just give out cash or have someone buy something from me. I'd rather get something for something. And again, the story continues that way. But yeah, I'm trying to clean up all these games now. I don't have enough room for them all. I got to put some back and move some around, and they take up a lot of room, so it's going to be really nice when the game room is all set up and the collectibles are all set up, and I'll be able to go somewhere and be able to talk with you guys there instead of always being in my living room, which I know it's not the best place to talk, and I'd rather have a nice setup area and it's the stand ready to go and everything, so all I can do is just set the computer down, put the phone up, and we're ready to roll, and we'll have the TV there, and by then I should get a gaming card so I can play games in a nice style with you guys. Got lots of plans on the work. 2018 is going to be huge for the channel, I think. We're going to do a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. And I'm starting to find my niche better on here with these live streams and going out and doing the magnet fishing again. And it's getting winter, so we're probably going to hold off on a lot of magnet fishing. But I am going to do some cold weather magnet fishing, obviously. And I'm gonna go. Sip's gonna come down again soon, so when he does, we'll do the show again. I'm gonna go up and see him again some more. Lots of good stuff. Well, I want to kick you, so it's fair. Should have seen when I walked into the gaming store with this, though. They all freaked out and went nuts. Their store policy actually wasn't to take it because it was missing the front cover, but they were going to take it anyway just because. The Joe and a J. Coffee and a joint. Nothing like a Joe and a J. And then we'd read the morning news. That was so much fun. Talk about the morning news. It was fun. I enjoyed it. And I'm very pleased to announce that that my partner has been great on this YouTube. Is that round trip, Sip? 148 round trip? You could come out in January. Well, come on out. Book it, dude. Book it, Denim. I know, hon. Trying to find everything to put it away. This is just something cool I have to show you guys. It's just really, I don't know, I like to do it because it's just the way it stacks up neatly in the drawer, but it also just looks really cool. 3 Segas. And I'm just cleaning up, talking to you guys. I'm getting ready to get off of here. Cleaning up everything. We'll finish up the chat, talking up while I clean up, and then we'll get ready to bounce out. This is a lot of stuff to go over, and Evie's just waking up, so I'm going to hang out with her for a bit before she needs to go to work. You're going to steal it all? I'd love to see you try. I'd love to see you try, Daniel. See, he's showing his true colors finally. He wants to steal all my video game stuff. And I'd say if I had to put a value on all this collection, I don't know. The value of everything. Top loader is worth $140 alone. But I didn't pay $140 for the top loader. I paid $5 at a yard sale. Years ago in Texas when I was a kid. So I don't think a couple of K. I would imagine probably maybe $1,500 to $1,000. That's probably more. And of course, I didn't show you guys the Atari because obviously it's not here. But about $1,000 I would think is about right. You know, this stuff isn't. I don't have the most expensive stuff. I don't go out to collect the most expensive stuff. I collect the stuff that has nostalgia to me. And oh, absolutely, Ann. Thank you so much. I'm going to get that sent out to you as soon as possible as well. I got so much stuff to mail out soon. With Christmas time coming up, it might be the right time just to knock it all out and suck it up. But, alright, well, most of the video game stuff is cleaned up, and I got the Sega drawer put away, and the PlayStation, Xbox drawer put away, and I've actually rearranged it more that I've got more room than I had last time. Every time I'm getting better at rearranging and getting more space out of it every time. Some stuff just doesn't fit, like the PlayStation, stuff like that, they don't fit. So, there's just nothing you can do about that. I have to stack it to the side, but that's where our idea for our Christmas gift to each other came from. Was Evie's. Some of the collectibles Evie's has, I am very jealous of. Very jealous. She's got a die-cast model of the truck from Fast and the Furious that they drove under in the very beginning, and she's got the little eclipse that goes with it, and she's got it sealed. That is so cool. She's got some famous ice skating skates from a Olympian skater who had her own brand of skates for a while, and she's got a pair of those in the box, which is really cool. She's got one of the original M&M dispensers where you put the M&Ms in and you push the hand down and it drops the M&Ms into the hand. And she's got the original. You've got two. And she's got the M&Ms to go with them from 1990. So maybe we'll open those up someday and eat them. Eating 27-year-old M&Ms. Well, if we wait till next year, they'll be 28 years old. Those M&Ms are old enough to vote, drink alcohol, drive, travel abroad. Do I collect ashes? Shut up, Sip. And Sip said to say, morning. She nodded. She knew what you meant. But, yeah, I got more space out of all these again. Love doing that. There's a lot more room. But even with the Atari here, I would definitely run out of more space. And this isn't even considered the controllers. I've got so many controllers, but you have to have controllers because I've probably got about 7 Sega controllers, but of those you got to be careful. Some don't work, and some I'm gonna have to take apart and mix and match to make them work again. So there's just a lot. You got to have a lot of controllers, and controllers go out, and so you got to get controllers, lots and lots of controllers. Okay, guys. Well, we're coming up on 2.5 hours, and I think that's where I'm going to get ready to cut it. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure hanging out with you, talking, telling old Army stories, going through the entire video game collection, and just hanging out in general with everybody. It's been a pleasure, as always. I appreciate you guys hanging out. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you go ahead and do so. If you want to throw a thumbs up because you've enjoyed the video, that would be awesome. And, you always know it's me with the custom tattoo on the thumb, so that's a big thumbs up. Bye, and it was an absolute pleasure to see you. 28, yeah, coming up, right? And hopefully you did enjoy. Check out some other videos. Enjoy those as well. Lots of great videos on the channel. I know a lot of people have been making their way through the rounds now, starting to check out the older material. And it's been an absolute blast. David, it's been an absolute pleasure seeing you as well. Gary, as always, sir, thank you so much. Diane, who was here earlier, she might not be busy. You might be busier listening on Gary's end. It's good to see you as always. And it'll be my pleasure to come back and talk with you guys more tomorrow. Sip, if you want to play some games in about half an hour, I'll get on Xbox and I'll hit you up and we can play some zombies or some World at War or whatever. And if somebody else wants to join us, you're more than welcome, of course. And, in bed now. Well, in the morning when you wake up, you tell her I said good night and hope she has a good evening. But for everybody else who stuck around to the end, thank you so much. It's been, again, my pleasure to hang out with you. And as always, thank you for wasting some of your life with me. Bye.